Welcome to Violet Light Tarot. This is the full moon in Capricorn lunar eclipse reading for July 5 of 2020. The actual full moon takes place on July 5, and the eclipse, as well as the height of the full moon, is at 12:44 a.m. Eastern Daylight. So today we're going to do a pick a card reading with 3 different piles. The general energy that's going to encompass all of the piles, though, is the actual full moon in Capricorn card from Moonology, and that states the end of a tough cycle approaches, which is a wonderful, wonderful energy. Just a little bit about this particular full moon. We have the actual full moon is called the buck moon, the thunder moon, wart moon, and hay moon. The fact that it's a full moon in Capricorn means that it's very much encompassing the idea of balance. So you may find yourself considering at this time the balances between your work and your social life, your work and your family life, family and friends, those kind of things, really kind of bringing those into a balance and bringing your life as a whole into a balance at this time. The full moon that's happening tonight is the last, actually, of the eclipse season for this time of year as well, which is phew. It just means that all the coming full moons and new moons afterwards will just be their regular everyday energies, and that can actually be a little bit of a relief for some people as well. The other thing about the full moon in Capricorn is that it's very positive time for both the water signs and the earth signs. So if you happen to be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or even Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, this is going to be very, very good for you. Not that the other 6 signs are going to be in detriment at this time. It's just sort of each full moon has sort of 6 signs or 2 elements that it picks to benefit a little bit more. We're doing things a bit differently today. As you can see, it's the same kind of idea with the pick a card. If you haven't done pick a cards before, basically your message for this particular full moon with regard to what to reflect on, what you're closing out a cycle on, that kind of thing, is within these 3 piles. And you're more than welcome to pick more than one pile. You can stay for the entire video. You're more than welcome. We're happy to have you. Generally people kind of have a one pile that they go with, but there are no absolute rules. So also remember that this is a collective reading, so if you start a pile and it doesn't really resonate with you, absolutely choose a different one, or it could be that part of that message is meant for you and part is meant for somebody else. Take what resonates. Don't try and fit in what doesn't seem to sound like it vibes with you at this time. It's not, that part isn't necessarily meant for you, it's meant for somebody else who's also listening that doesn't vibe with the part that you actually vibe with. The pick a cards can either be chosen by pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, or you can choose by the crystal cards that are attached to them. So pile 1 is attached to the Peridot, beautiful little crystal. There's also the number 14 attached to that. We also have, for pile 2, the lapis lazuli, one of my favorites, number 13. And pile 3 is Priscelli Bluestone. That's a new one for me. Priscelli Bluestone, which has the number 33, which I understand is also a master number. The stone cards are your healing cards for that particular pile as well, so if you resonate with that stone as more of a healing property, that could also be drawing you to that pile as well. As I mentioned, this is a general collective reading for all signs, for just choose one or more of the piles and that's meant for you. If you're looking for more of a very specific reading to you, please check in the description below. There's a link to the store where you can purchase an individual personalized reading. So if you're ready, I'm just going to do a really quick short meditation, which some people seem to really enjoy, just to really vibe with that pile that's meant for them. So sit back, relax, close your eyes, take a deep breath, exhale, open your eyes slowly, The pile that you were drawn to as soon as you opened your eyes is the pile that's meant for you. Thank you so much for joining in with this video, and we'll see you at your pile. Welcome to those who chose the Peridot crystal or pile 1. This is your full moon in Capricorn reading for July 5 of 2020. Now remember, if you happen to vibe with this a little bit after July 5, that's okay. If you were away for the weekend and come in with us early in the week, the energies that are brought to you and that are encompassed with the activation of the full moon actually take place for the entire 2 weeks after, especially with the eclipse really kind of, it's almost like the aura of the eclipse brings that out a little bit more as well. So we're going to start off just really quick with the Peridot itself. So there is a blue border on this, which is synonymous with the throat chakra. So it could be something to do with your throat chakra. So how you're speaking, what you're wanting to say, sort of what you're saying versus what you mean. Could also be something that needs to be looked at with regard to your balancing and your reflections at this time. Also with the Peridot itself, again, the number 14, just in case you happen to be a number person, it is emotional cleansing. That's the definition of that particular card and that particular crystal and what it's meant to do. So basically, it's asking you to use your energy wisely. So I am going to read from the book a little bit just because I haven't mastered all of the intricacies. I did just get this deck a week ago. So basically what we're learning from this particular card and this particular crystal is to recognize how outside influences operate in your life. Develop your own protection. Learn to rely on your own inner guidance. Avoid jealousy. Be assertive without aggression. So remember we were talking about the throat chakra? Learning to say what you mean or being assertive in your speech without having that aggressive tone. The healing insight for this particular card is envy and jealousy harm you as well as hurting others. So again, it's more about balancing with respect to what you mean versus what you say, and really looking at what you have, not against or in comparison with what others have, but looking at what you have to be able to assist others, what they have to be able to assist you, and really coming together in a very communal sense to bring you into alignment as well. So today we've got a pile for you. I'm going to turn them all over, let you see the cards, but we're going to read the message as a whole as well. So we're starting out with the High Priestess. We have the Tower. We have the Wheel of the Year, or the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Gibbous Moon, or you're very close to achieving your goal. The Great Gathering, it's all coming together. Initiative hits Soul Tribe. Movement, and the top of that card has a 29 on it. And your shadow, or what could be something to really look at and pull away from at this time, is Aradia with Defense. So pile 1, what I'm seeing for you for your full moon message really is that with the High Priestess, you're very intuitive at this time, which is wonderful, absolutely great. You also have the Tower though, which means that you're coming to a moment, or you have come to a moment very recently, where something very, very big changed in your life. And that could literally be with regard to this particular full moon, and really having to break away from a cycle that you've been in. Because remember, we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So it could very well be something where you finally realized you've had enough, or you've come to a breaking point that's actually going to hit at this time, or the realization of it is going to hit at this time. And you're in your intuition is telling you that you need to break away from whatever it happens to be. It's bringing you in a positive light because you have the Wheel of Fortune in the upright position, which means you are currently in a good luck, good vibe, positive energies part of your life at this time. So we also have you're very close to achieving your goals. Awesome. Love that. What I'm seeing, if you put everything together with respect to this, is that you are intuitive and you are finally coming into the knowledge that something sort of has to go. It's keeping you out of alignment, keeping you out of the balance, and this full moon in Capricorn is really allowing you to see that that's the case at this time. You are on a upturn with regard to the Wheel of Fortune. Remember, the Wheel of Fortune constantly turns. So right now you're in a positive light, which means things that are happening for you are in the positive. You're close to achieving your goals, and really this tower moment, this thing that's pulling you away from what's not serving you, from what's keeping you in an imbalance, is really kind of your last step as far as reaching that goal, achieving that state of, well, balance. for lack of a better word, it's balance. The Great Gathering with regards to your soul tribe. Your soul tribe can be part of your actual blood family, your friendships, etc. And it could also be that you are pulling away from those who are not serving your greater good. And I don't mean serving as in servitude to you. What I mean is serving as in people who are just negative and pulling you down or judgmental towards you in any way. Those are the people you're pulling away from to be able to gather with the people that are actually there to uplift you, who understand and embrace you as you are, and you are actually there to do likewise with them. You are there to embrace them as they are, accept them as they are, and remember, it does go both ways. So the idea of balance is not just you balancing out your good and bad and how people see you. It's really how you see others and how you affect others as well. So movement is self-explanatory. It is pulling you away from, it's literally, this card shows this poor little horse who's in this darkness right now, and it's literally pulling you out. You do have the light that's coming in. He's still a little bit in the dark, but it's coming into the light. He or she. And you are coming into that moment, like I said, with your soul tribe gathering, that's pulling you towards what you are meant to be doing, where you are meant to be at this particular stage. You're coming out of that tough cycle. You're coming out of that moment of misalignment that you've been in. The thing to be very, very careful of at this time, though, pile one, is your defense mechanism. The way your life has been lately, you have become defensive. Remember that you are being asked at this time to balance out and to be alert with how you're speaking. Remember the throat chakra we were talking about with regard to the peridot, and just being well aware of how you're speaking and what you're saying. So stand up for yourself, with always, never arguing with that perspective. Absolutely stand up for yourself, but do it in such a way that you are actually being assertive without being aggressive. You can make your argument known, make your side of things known, your beliefs, your emotions, your needs known and met, without having to literally be aggressive in the way that you deal with others or push others out, in the fact that you've got that tower moment where you're literally getting, like, removing people or things from your life that don't currently serve you and keep you in balance. You can do so in a way that's not defensive, but rather assertive and showing of your new stage, of your basically new cycle, and you're really starting it right now, of being that very compassionate person who is more, I understand this is how things have been with you and I for, however long, but unfortunately it's not working for me anymore. I do have to move on in another way. It's like being very, very like compassionate with your speech, as opposed to, we're done. I'm getting this vibe of like when people find out somebody's on drugs and they go and meet them, what is it called? Intervention. I'm getting that kind of feeling or that kind of vibe right now. Not that you're going through that, or not that you have to deal in that particular respect, but the overall atmosphere of that is when people go to an intervention to help somebody out, their entire dialogue is meant to be in the I statements. So I feel that this is no longer working. I feel that what we've had in the past is not where I want to be at this time, as opposed to, you've been hurting me, you've been doing this, you've been really negative towards me, you've been judging me, instead of basically putting the other person literally on the defensive as well. Like literally, instead of doing that, stating your case, walking away. That's all you have to do at this time. So this is literally what you are meant to do, what you are being asked to do, what you are being asked to reflect on as well, to really plan and consider what parts of your life are not serving you, what is really the imbalance, what has to go, what needs to leave to put you back into that complete state. What do you need to achieve your goals and meet the people and be with the people that are really going to uplift you, that accept you for who you are, that allow you to basically accept them as well, and just bring each other into alignment. That's the group that you want to be with. What we're doing is letting go of people who really don't match that anymore, letting go of, and it doesn't have to just be people too, it can be actually things. It can be a job that's no longer serving you because of whatever reason. You've changed, you've grown, it happens. It can be a city. If you're in a place where you're able to move and you're just not vibing with the city life anymore and you want to move to somewhere else, absolutely. That kind of thing. It's just the Tower in this respect I don't see as a big, huge, massive change. It's literally a change that you're intuitively starting. You are meant to do this, and it's basically you are the instigation to the change at this time, as opposed to something being changed for you. You're being asked right now by Spirit, and remember when Spirit in the universe suggests things to you, and when they say, hey, you know what, maybe you should do this, at some point in the future, if you don't change how things are, the Tower moment does end up becoming something that, like, where the universe is just like, you know what, I'll do it for you. And that does happen. That's not happening now. I don't hear that that's happening now. I hear that in this particular instance, this is literally you being asked at this time to make that move yourself. Movement. Okay? So this is what I have for you, Pile 1. I really see this as a positive experience for you. Please comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We are doing many, many, many readings this July, and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for spending time today. Bye for now. Welcome, Pile 2. This is your full moon and Capricorn reading for July 5, or the couple of weeks after July 5. If you do happen to find this after the particular date, it's okay. The energies still work for about 2 weeks after the fact. We are starting off with your healing crystal card as well, or actually the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. Specifically, we have the lapis lazuli here again. This is the number 13, just in case you're a number person, which goes down to a number 4, which is about home and family. The card is also rimmed or has an aura of blue, which is the throat chakra. The book, which I'm going to read from, just because I'm not quite comfortable with knowing exactly everything there is to know about these cards just yet. I did just get this deck, but I wanted to use it right away. It states that lapis lazuli is heavenly wisdom. You're an immortal soul with a profound connection with the heavens. Your purpose is noble. Take charge of your life. Looking into the past puts your present experience into perspective. You are a lineage breaker. Make the effort to trace family history for deeper insights. There is a spiritual dis-ease currently. Flashes of intuition show the way. Open your heart and third eye. Help comes from on high, which, again, if anybody's listening to this who is not a heaven or on high type person, it can also be referring to the divine spirit ancestors, 5D, anything, universe, all of those. Your healing insight in this is attuning to your divine nature enhances your well-being. So very specifically what I'm seeing for this with regard to the current full moon energies, especially with the balancing, is the bit about being a lineage breaker and really looking into your family history. So what I'm seeing right now for you is that this is a very good time for you to break those sort of ancestral bonds or ancestral sins or any of those where whatever hasn't been serving you with regard to that, or whatever you feel you've been in tune with regard to what's been happening in the past, is literally, this is the moment for you to break out and balance yourself with your own karma, your own desires, your own life path, as opposed to that set out or being almost tethered or restrained because of any kind of ancestral issues that have come in the past that actually do not belong to you and do not mesh with yourself. So we have your cards today. I'm going to go ahead and put the spread out for you, and we're going to look at the cards as a whole message. So pile 2, we're starting out with Temperance. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Wands. We have the North Node, and this has a message of step out of your comfort zone. We have Play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. We have the Moon, which has number 50. And your shadow card or some kind of underlying concern that you may be dealing with right now is Nematona with secrecy. So pile 2, really what I'm seeing again with regard to what you have here as your spread is you've got the Temperance card, which speaks of patience. And you have you literally have the card of reciprocity. You have the 6 of Pentacles, which talks again about back and forth and really giving and receiving in equal portion, again, balance. There is a card, though, here, the 7 of Wands, which speaks of being defensive or defending yourself or feeling like you have to defend yourself. I'm seeing that very much in tune with what we were speaking of a moment ago with regard to your ancestral issues, and really feeling as though you have to defend your family lineage or defend your family history, as it were, when really it's not your burden to bear. And that's something that I think at least one of you really has to hear at this moment, that is not your burden. That was never meant to be held on. That is way, way too much responsibility for one person to take on however many generations of past issues, and really having to hold on to that is too much for anyone. And you're literally being asked right now to just let go of that. That is not for you. That is not part of what's going to balance you. And literally really just removing that or closing off that cycle. So again, in terms of the actual full moon card, we have ending of a tough cycle approaches. And that's the cycle that you are currently meant to just get rid of. Just walk away from that, because that is not yours to bear, not yours to hold on to. And it says step out of your comfort zone. Again, same thing, is your comfort zone has literally been in a state of defense, which it was never meant to be. You're being asked to play at this moment and to really open up as yourself, to really discover who you are and take that to be your alignment and balance out your own person, your own who you are, where you belong in the world, where you want to belong in the world. Don't let the world tell you where you belong. Don't let your ancestors tether you or tie you to a space you don't want to be in. Where do you belong? Where do you want to be? And don't let anything or anyone tell you you don't belong there, because that is your space. You are asked to play at this time as well, which means that as much as that sounded like a very heavy message, the idea is to really take the time to have fun with yourself and really just like literally celebrate and don't be so serious. So you have been very defensive, as we were saying. You've been sitting in your moon energy, which is very reflective. It's very internal. You've been holding a lot of secrets as well, which is causing you to be very quiet, very internal, very just... I'm getting this image of like the cartoon dark cloud standing over you, because what's been happening is you've been holding on to so much that doesn't belong to you, that you were never meant to carry. And you're being asked right now to let go of all that and to literally play. Celebrate that you are alive at this time. Celebrate that you are existing at this time, and allow yourself to be the person that you are meant to be, and literally come into that. Have patience with yourself, though. The Temperance card is telling me, it's literally standing and screaming at me right now, saying have patience with yourself, because this is not going to be a, July 4th, 5th, whatever, you're this defensive person who's holding on to all of this energy, and by Monday, July 6th, you're like happy-go-lucky new person just out there enjoying the world. It's not going to be a flip the switch and everything is happy. It is going to take time for you to do this, but the fact that you are starting now, the fact that you are aware, letting go of what doesn't serve you, and starting to become yourself, even starting to just celebrate your own life and your own existence, that's the temperance, that's the patience. That's where, have patience with yourself, that this is going to be a bit of a slow process. And if any of you have issues with any kind of patience, as I'm right there with you. But having patience with yourself is different than having patience with a situation. Having patience with yourself is literally the definition of self-love. It's accepting you where you are and accepting you where you need to go. The Six of Pentacles is really kind of pulling me towards it for just a moment as well, because what you're seeing right now is that there is a give and take, which is awesome. Give and receive, not give and take. I have to keep remembering to say it differently. And it could also be, it's not just giving things away, but what it is giving things up. Not giving up as in just, it's not quitting. It's giving things away that don't serve you. Receiving that which does. Receiving the parts of you that are meant to be in the now. And giving away those parts of you that don't serve you. Giving away the secrecy. Giving away the weight. And by weight, I mean weight on your essence and your spirit and your soul, as opposed to like physical weight. Just really balancing yourself out as far as like I'm hearing work and play as well. Being that you've got like the pentacles being for work, for finance, for the real like 3D kind of world things, and play being play. I'm seeing that as being a balance that you're working on as well at this time, which is awesome. Sorry, I had to pause the video for a second. I ended up coughing. Again, throat chakra, right? Must be what it is. So this is what I have for you, pile 2, for your full moon, and really what to pay attention to with regard to your balance and your takeaways and things to reflect on at this time. Try and have a good time. If you are in a place where you can enjoy the eclipse, absolutely take that time out as well. Consider that as part of your play moment, and really try and enjoy yourself. Thank you for clicking on this video and spending time with us today. I look forward to seeing you again another time. Bye for now. Welcome, pile 3, to the full moon in Capricorn reading for July 5 of 2020. If you happen to catch this on even the 6th, 7th, 8th, what have you, the energies for this particular full moon will be active for you for at least the next few days to 2 weeks. So not to worry about that. We're going to start off your reading with regard to the Crystal Wisdom's Healing Stone, and for you it is the Priscelli Blue Stone. Again, it has the number 33, so if you're looking at master numbers, that's something to look at as well. I am going to read from the book for this. It's a new deck for me, so I will just give you the message as it appears in the book, and we'll go on from there as far as the actual reading afterwards. So the Priscelli Blue Stone is known as the Inner Compass. You're an ancient shaman who has much wisdom to impart and the ability to journey through multiple dimensions in search of healing. You have unshakable core stability and an inner compass that directs you with integrity. Absolutely. I love that. That's great. Use natural medicine for ailments is being suggested, as well as paying attention to your boundaries, especially with regard to this particular full moon. Paying attention to boundaries and having that balance of what you allow versus what's being provided is going to be a big focus for you for this particular period of time. Dig deep into your past for your reflections, access your memories, and cut yourself free. So really, this is the best red crystal you could possibly have for a full moon, as that is like the entire purpose of a full moon, is to really reflect and let go of what doesn't serve you. That is awesome. That is great. Find your own direction and face challenges with equanimity. You have power to decide. Pay particular attention to your environment. Your healing insight for this particular period is being true to yourself is a basis of all well-being, spiritual and physical. So spiritual and physical is another thing to balance out for this particular time for you. So pile 3, with regard to your actual spread, I'm going to show you the cards as we go, but we're going to read them as a complete message. So you're starting out with the 9 of Wands. You have the 10 of Pentacles. The 8 of Swords. The new moon in Aquarius. And the message on this is bring love into a situation. Mintaken. Longing for home, belonging, the original lightworkers. We have the Forbidden with the number 18. And your shadow for this particular time is Uzumi with Persuasion. So pile 3, what's really drawing me when I first see what you've got here is that you're literally going from a 9 to a 10 to an 8. So you want to move forward, and you're looking to move forward, but something is holding you back. You're feeling as though you have to guard yourself against something you really want. And it's kind of weird how they've done this particular artwork for this 10 of Pentacles, because the 10 of Pentacles usually literally just shows an image of the be-all, end-all of what you really want in life. But what we have here is literally, it looks like this woman is daydreaming about what she wants, as opposed to actually living and experiencing it. So you are, as I'm seeing this, you are currently sitting in this mode of defense. You're feeling as though you have to kind of hold on to what you've been living and hold on to what you know. You want the next level. You want that sort of whatever your happy ending is, your be-all, end-all life. But you're feeling very trapped at this time with regard to what you have to hold on to or feel like you have to hold on to. Remember that the Eight of Swords isn't actually denoting entrapment. What it is it's a feeling or a notion of being trapped. If you were to be this particular woman, take off the blindfold, walk between the swords, and off you go. You are being asked at this time to bring love into the situation, and I see that as being self-love. I see that as being embracing yourself as you are and really bolstering yourself up as to, you don't have to be you don't have to be as defensive. You can have everything you really want. You aren't in this trap feeling. Really talking to yourself at this time and really looking into that reflection of you, the reflection of the full moon, as it were, so the reflection of you, and stepping away from what doesn't serve you. So literally bringing yourself into a loving situation with yourself, accepting who you are, accepting that you can have what you want. You literally have to walk towards it. You have to go that extra step. So instead of feeling defensive, or instead of feeling as if you have to stay and defend something that no longer serves you, you can have what you really and truly want, because you literally are not trapped in, or not stuck in the space of having to look after an old life or an old cycle that no longer serves you. Remember that the end of the tough cycle is approaching, is literally the message for this particular full moon. So the end of this cycle of having to hold on to something or defend something that doesn't serve you and feeling trapped within that cycle is going away. You actually have the ability to create this and be that Ten of Pentacles world, be in that cycle that will bring you what you really and truly want. You also have, as I mentioned, the longing for home and belonging. Again, you literally are longing. Like, this woman is, and remember, if you're a gentleman watching, or male identifying watching, it's energies and it's what the cards depict. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man or a woman actually in the real 3D. But you are literally longing for home. You're literally longing for this 3D, however it looks to you. You are longing for it. You're wanting to belong to it. And being an original light worker, and you don't have to identify as being a light worker, but what that also means, again, is love. It can be self-love. It can be love for others. As a light worker, or somebody who identifies as a light worker myself, I see it as being someone who's supportive and there for as many people as possible in whatever they need, and being supportive in whatever they're going through. So in this aspect, it's really being supportive of what you are going through, and it's okay. It's not selfish to be a light worker for yourself when you really need that. You are allowed at this time, at any time really, to use your gifts to bolster yourself, to love yourself, to bring yourself out of a space of feeling the way you really don't want to feel, and bringing yourself into the notion that you can have what you really and truly want. The Forbidden card here and the Persuasion card are really almost together in the fact that the Forbidden card really, to me, looks like a shadow. It's something that you are holding back from. It's almost as if you're feeling, I'm seeing this right now, this Nine of Wands, where you're feeling as if you have to defend something. I'm almost feeling as if this is a cell. or some kind of pen or entrapments, or again, similar to the Eight of Swords, in the fact that you're feeling as if it's forbidden to open that door, forbidden for you to walk through, to have everything you want, and it really is not. It is not true. Whatever you're feeling as though you can't have what you really want, it's not true. You've been living in this space of telling yourself that you are undeserving for whatever reason, that you are meant to not have because other people, whatever, either they're telling you can't have it or their needs are go above yours. As a light worker, that can happen sometimes as well, so you could actually have light worker tendencies and not realize it. You can put others first, but putting others first, be careful. Again, we're working on balance right now with regards to the full moon in Capricorn, so be careful as a light worker that you're not putting everyone else first so much that you're literally to the detriment of yourself. So you are literally trapping yourself in this need to hold back, not have what you want, because you're so busy giving to everybody else, giving them what they need, and not bringing yourself into what you need, bringing yourself into the place that you belong in, and bringing yourself into the life and the cycle that you are meant to live. Persuasion is really also about how you're feeling, again, with regard to yourself. It's not how you're feeling or working with other people. It's unfortunately that every now and then you'll have this inkling of, I would really like. But then that persuasion comes in of, yes, but aunt this, uncle this, my boss needs, what have you. And you're basically persuading yourself out of it because you're giving to too many people at the same time and not providing to yourself as much. Work instead on bringing love into the situation. Again, self-love. Bring yourself into a loving situation and give yourself the attention that you've been giving to so many people. The only people that will be mad at you for doing this, the only people that will be mad at you for having the boundaries, as we talked about with regard to the card, the only people that are going to be mad when you set your boundaries are the people who have been really benefiting from you not having them or not speaking of them previously. So if you've been giving to others so much and taking away from yourself, and people are getting used to and becoming slack and not providing you with any kind of feedback or any kind of reciprocity, those are the people that you're going to hear from. Those are the people that are going to say, hang on, you can't do this. Guess what? You can, and you need to. So this is what I have for you, pile 3. This is your takeaway for the full moon in Capricorn. This is what you need to work on with regard to your balance and what your reflection should really be paying attention to for this particular full moon. Really hold yourself in high regard. There's one of the readers I've been watching on YouTube, almost every video I've been watching of hers, somewhere in there she puts in the statement, hold yourself in high regard. And I'm hearing that right now as being something that you need to hear in turn. I'm passing that message on to you as something that you really need to use as part of your reflections as well. Thank you so much for spending time. Thank you for clicking on this video and being with us today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Try and have a really wonderful next couple of weeks. I say that because the full moon usually takes effect for 2 weeks. And look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.